Okay, so when we're selling stuff, we want to look at value, and value usually comes in price per size. So the easiest thing to sell is jewelry. It's really small, and a lot of people can have a lot of jewelry. You can have 1,000 pieces of jewelry in your house, and you can get more and more and just hit it away. And then below that is what we call smalls, which is decorative stuff like vases and clocks and things like that. Then art, it's flat, it's easy to store, easy to move. Then when you get to the more difficult stuff like furniture, so like you can have 100 vases in your house, but no one has 100 dining room tables in their house. So once you have a dining room table, you're out of the furniture market. And also you usually have to pay someone to move it. So furniture is difficult for us to do. When we are looking at furniture, and again, there's caveats to all of this, but when we're looking at furniture, what people want now and the market want now is mid-century modern design. And we have a pile of it here that I have to tag, and I'll go through a couple of things with you. The first thing is, we'll pull out, I'll put this aside for a second. This is a pretty iconic chair. It's almost kitsch right now. It's called an Ames Chair after Charles and Ray Ames. They were a husband and wife design team. They worked for Herman Miller, which is a American furniture company. So you can see this chair and the ottoman in many different places. They did a lot of reproduction with this chair. It was first produced in the late 50s and has been produced ever since, and there's lots of knockoffs. What you want to see is, you want to look at how many pieces of plywood are in this. Now this one has 5, so it's an older model. The 7, if there's like 7 layers, that's not in one of the original chairs. You also want to see that, which this may be a little, that's about right, that the piece from the chair, the cushion matches the size of the cushion on the ottoman. Flip it over. Now, most of the times, these chairs are gonna have stickers on the bottom of them. This one does not. So that's usually problematic, but we can also measure the size of the chair to make sure it's correct. And you do want to see that these are made out of one solid aluminum piece and they're on an angle. Another thing is why this chair is so good, even though it's really low to the ground, so it's hard to get in and out of. It has this little tilt in it that allows you to take pressure off of your back. So when you're sitting in the chair, it should tilt back a little bit, which is kind of springing a little bit. If you see any mechanism to help it tilt back, that is a reproduction. Here also we see we have a little tear, but the good thing is with Herman Miller's furniture, any piece that's damaged, you can actually send back to Herman Miller and they will replace the piece with a modern piece. Also, what we can look down the chair, we want to make sure that there's shocks here, rubber shocks. Everything is in one piece here, and here we go. So this is what we want to see on the bottom of the chair. I'm going to flip this chair over. So here we go. We have the round Herman Miller tag that says, design in Zeeland, Michigan. And then we have this sticker here with all the patent numbers. So that's what we want to see to make sure it's a real chair. So this chair, even though it's a little beat up, we're probably going to, we like to be conservative with our estimates because we want as many people as possible to participate in the auction, because once somebody starts bidding at the auction, they're kind of hooked. You know, I do it myself, I've been doing this for years, and once you start bidding on something, you don't want to get beat, so you keep on hitting that button. So if we give a lot of people the opportunity to participate, our clients that are the sellers are going to do much better. We'd rather under-promise and over-deliver to our clients that we're selling for, so we always want to start everything conservatively. It was made, this is by Paul McCobb, and there's a few pieces here. It's called the Planner Group. And with this grouping of furniture, it was made to be modular, and it was super popular in the 50s. So I'm just gonna kind of put it together. So there were dressers and desks that were static, as opposed to these modular parts. As you can see, I'm putting the legs on this. This could be used as a bench. It could be used as a coffee table. But we're going to use it for, we're going to stack these modular cabinets on it and use it as a dresser. Another good thing about mid-century furniture is refinishing it doesn't really hurt the price that much. So if you had like an 18th century block front something or other from like Newport, you know, and you went and refinished it, you would destroy the value in it. But collectors take a little more laid back stance when we're talking about this mid-century furniture. Okay, this is all, I think this came in like 3 colors. This all made of maple. This is the natural color. So there, and we can even see the outline of where these drawers stacked. So now you have all these drawers that you could stack any way you like. Say you're at a door and you have your, you know, maybe a light switch in a bedroom. You could stack 2 on one side and 3 on the other side, or a whole bunch up one side. You could push it all to one side, which I've seen like this, you know, leaving this little space here. Oh, this is a big triple piece, so let's do this. Let's go 2, and then we'll do this triple. Here. So it's pretty neat, pretty modular. So that's a planner group, Paul McCobb. And then another piece that we have from Herman Miller, which is a super, just as iconic as this chair is. You'll see this coffee table next to the chair all the time in any self-respecting 1950s period movie. This is a coffee table designed by Isamu Noguchi. He was a Japanese American, and I believe he made the table first for someone. It may have been the director of the Museum of Modern Art. I have to check up on that. And Herman Miller really liked what he did, so they asked him to make something kind of like that. And I think this was late 1940s, maybe 1947, that he designed this. This just happens to be not a right one. So when I mean it's not right, it means it's a copy, a knockoff. So the table has a sculptural base, and what we're going to notice on the real one is it's either going to have a Herman Miller tag here, or it's going to be signed by Isamu Noguchi, and this is not. Even though most of these tables you're going to find do have this ebonized walnut base, there were different bases to these. I believe the first year there was a maybe it was cherry that was they didn't make many of them, so that's really sought after by collectors. And also we can see this is a little later because there's a pin in here that doesn't allow it to go all the way around. Now the top to it, the table, I haven't had this around yet, is like shaped like a jelly bean, I guess, kind of, or a kidney. And what we want to look for on the table, the earlier models were, I think, 7/8 thick, and then later on it went down to 3/4 thickness. You could tell by the difference how old the table is, but that really doesn't make a price and a value because there's so much of this around because it's been produced for so long. But as I said, this is a knockoff. So what we're gonna see here, the guys did a really good job wrapping this, which is good. So with the tabletop, what we do want to see is the edging is going to be this greenish color, which this is not. And also around the edging, there's going to be a spot where you're going to see a Isamu Noguchi signature, which this does not have. Okay. So, you know, this table, if it was correct, maybe $800 to $1,200, depending on the age. You know, something like this that's a knockoff, still people would like it. So we're probably gonna say $600 to $800 for this. I just wanted to make sure when we were talking about the table before, I was trying to get apart, I cut myself, I wasn't paying attention, so we didn't have the top on right, so we didn't want to look silly, but that's the way the top's supposed to go on, like the triangle. Another Herman Miller piece. Now, with all the Herman Miller pieces, you can always tell the age of them by their tags. This one's a little older. Anything like from the 80s or the 90s is going to be like a bar type of tag. And so these are older. These are fiberglass chairs. These were also designed by Charles and Ray Ames. You can also see they also have the shocks. So, you know, and this kind of stuff is popular now, but you can like, you know, back in the 60s and, you know, 70s, certainly growing up, these things were all over the place. And I remember a bowling alley that my grandmother went, there was like a whole line of these things, and now they're really sought after. With chairs, especially if you have one of something, it isn't as worth as much as you have two of it. So two of it's about worth more than double, it'll be 2.5 times this. So you really want pairs of stuff.